What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Blunt Guy. Hey! And we are back again with another One Piece chapter reaction. Today we will be reacting to One Piece chapter 1085, The Death of Nefertari Cobra. Dang, I almost said that all wrong. Now before we get into the chapter reaction, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitch so you catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and join the Discord. That's usually where I'm the most active at. All of these will be in the description box down below. But yeah, so y'all know what we here for. We here for this chapter reaction. Again, we are reacting to One Piece chapter 1085, The Death of Nefertari Cobra. And y'all know I'm excited. I'm excited. It felt like it's been like a month since I did a chapter reaction. It just feels like it's been so long. So I'm definitely excited. So let's get into the chapter. All right, so One Piece chapter 1085, The Death of Nefertari Cobra. The cover page, we got Frankie. It looked like he's sitting on top of like a crab or something. I'm not too sure what that is. It looked like a crab. And he's holding a sign that says departure. And we see a bunch of little turtles. Little baby turtles crawling their way to the ocean while Frankie's crying and saluting them. So I'm assuming Frankie must have saved these little baby turtles from this crab that was trying to eat them. I mean, if you guys know about nature, it's very common that turtles have to, after they're hatched, like their mother buries them a little far from the ocean, and then when they hatch, they gotta crawl to the ocean, and a lot of them don't make it. Right, a lot of them get ate up by birds and all types of prey. Right, so this is kind of like mirroring that, except Frankie prevented the big crab from eating these turtles. From what it looks like. It says cover request by Mount Apple. Frankie encouraging hatchling turtles on their way to the sea. So yeah, interesting cover page, but it is what it is. All right, we getting right into the thick of things. So we got Cobra looking up, and it says the impossible ruler. And someone says no one is ever supposed to sit there. So this is Cobra talking low to himself, I'm thinking. And then he's thinking no individual should have the power to control the world. And then Eam says Mu shall address two of the points being discussed. Mu? Who's Mu? Like Eam is saying is like Mu shall address two of the points being discussed, and thou must answer a single question in return, Cobra. Bro, this is the most we've seen Eam talk, bro. This is the most we've seen this man talk, or this person, this being talk. We don't know if it's a man or a woman yet. Most people speculate that it's a woman, for sure though. And Cobra's coughing. Cough, cough, cough. Who are you? And then it says on the side, it says, translator note, Emu uses Mu to refer to themselves in the third person. Typically means void, but can also be reading for dream. Huh. So Eem addresses, at least based on this translation, Eem addresses herself, himself as Mu, and it could be translated as void or dream. That's interesting. That's interesting. Void, because we know the Void Century. You know, we also know dreams is a big thing in One Piece. So that's interesting, right? That's interesting. So Cobra says, cough. I've never heard the name Emu before. It could be a coincidence, but one of the first 20 was also called that. One of the first 20 kings, rulers, kingdoms. What is one of the first 20? What? You know, he wasn't really specific on what he means by one of the first 20. I'm assuming he means one of the first 20 kings or rulers was called Emu. Okay, so if that's the case, then Emu isn't Lily. Unless Emu, at least Lily and Emu, like Lily was also named Emu as well. And the Emu says, such curiosity teeters on impertinence. It will not be dignified with an answer. Okay, so Emu doesn't even want to answer that question. and then I'm assuming this is still Emu speaking. It says, however, those initial queries shall be addressed. Oh, are we about to learn what the D is? The D? Are we about to get the D? We getting the D. Says D is the moniker of our ancient enemy. In recent times, it has cropped up more frequently. However, it is nothing but a faint echo. Those who carry the name do not even know of its true meaning, and yet this irradiation only endures due to Queen Lily's grave blunder 800 years ago. And then Cobra says blunder. And then he says the same can be said of those irksome scholars investigating the so-called Void Century. So okay, so based on how Eam is talking of Lily, I don't really think they can be the same two people, right? I mean, it's still possible. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still possible, and I don't know if I don't really know what the popular opinion or the popular speculation on the connection between Lily and Eam is, but my initial thought was that Lily, especially since Lily never made it back to Alabasta, right? And we're also missing, it's only 19 swords, but it's supposed to be 20. I thought maybe Lily stayed back and became Eam. Still can be the case, though. Still can be the case, but based on how Eam is talking, it's almost like they're two separate people, for sure. For sure. So we see Eam with a bunch of poneglyphs in the back. And Eam says, without that blunder, there would be no pirates chasing the poneglyphs in pursuit of treasure either. If it were not for Lily's incompetence, those vexing relics would never have been scattered all over the world. Oh, like now it's just creating more questions, right? More mysteries. What did Lily do to mess up that caused those poneglyphs to be spread around? If that was even a mess up, right? If that was even a mess up, maybe Lily purposely allowed this stuff to happen, and Eam is just calling it a blunder. Cobra looks up at Eam, and Eam says, the release of the poneglyphs was the worst possible outcome for us. So one must wonder whether it was truly a mistake, or if it was actually part of some larger if it was actually part of some larger plan. Bruh. Bruh. Yo. Why the Gora say they all clutching their weapons, bro? We see them all clutching their pistols. Uh, except for, the Gandhi looking one. He's clutching his sword. Bruh, they about to move on Cobra, bro. They are about to move on Cobra. Fast, not slow. Eam continues, the truth undoubtedly lies in the letter Lily left. So pray tell, was it a deliberate choice to only refer to her as Queen Lily of House Nefertari? Go ahead and divulge the full name on her letter. So, okay. So, the more we go through this chapter, the more I'm thinking that Lily and Eam aren't the same person. And the fact that Cobra said that there used to be a king by the name of Emu that was part of the original 20, and we know that the sword, there's a missing sword. I'm assuming that's just a separate person. Like Emu was the person who didn't lay that sword down because Emu took the throne, and Emu, like, Lily genuinely messed up or betrayed Eam or in the 20 kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they gave Lily the axe or something like that. That's what I'm assuming. So Cobra is thinking to himself, they've got me. I suppose there really is no chance I'm leaving this room alive. Yeah, that's how it's looking. A lot of people ain't think Cobra was gonna die, but it's looking like they really about to off this man. I take it that there is no fib I could tell that would satisfy you enough to let me go. And then we see the one Gorsei member with the big ass mustache, the white beard stash, and he says, "Your fate was decided the moment you saw the great Emu." Culver's breathing hard, huff, huff, and he's thinking to himself, "Not surprising. They can't let anyone know the world's greatest taboo has been broken." All right, so Sabo. Sabo is peeking in. He's peeking in the chambers, and he's thinking. He said, "The atmosphere here feels a little sinister. What's going on?" The truth is, the letter from Alabasta, the letter from Alabasta's ruler 8 centuries ago, was signed by Queen Nefertari, D. Lily. Lily was a D? Lily was a D. What? And then Emu says D. And then we see, like, what is that? It's like an arrow or something. We see like a shadow arrow, like going for King Cobra, and it like stabs him in the chest. Like this arrow, whatever it is. It stabs him in his chest. And at the same time, Cobra is getting stabbed in the chest. Sabo looks to be right behind him, and he leaps in the air. And then Sabo attacks the Gorosei with a fire fist. And we get a translator note. It says, "A move in chess and shogi where the king is checked by a knight while surrounded by its own pieces." Okay. And I'm trying. It's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot going on. And then, dang, what's going on? So it looked like is Sabo going for Eam? I don't think so. So we see Sabo attack with a fire fist and then a smothered mate. So is that Eam that did that with that black arrow? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that black arrow, that black shadow arrow is like Eam's doing. And I can't tell. I can't really tell what's going on. It's like something black. Can't really tell what's going on. But they said, "Where did this one come from?" Says Eam, and Eam's like eyes get stretched out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on that last panel on this page. It's wow, bruh, bruh. So Sabo is sitting here witnessing them kill Cobra. A lot of people thought maybe Cobra wasn't really dead or anything, but Cobra seems to be he seemed he seemed to suffer a fatal wound. Like whatever that black arrow thing is, like stabs him right through the chest, and Sabo comes in at the same time, so Sabo is gonna have to be public enemy number one by the Gorosei because he actually witnessed Eam as well as Cobra, and the fact that Cobra witnessed Eam, the Gorosei is like, now we gotta kill you. Now we gotta kill you. Sabo's there as well, and now I see why they gotta kill Sabo. But I think we already speculated that Sabo seen Eam as well. So very interesting, very interesting. So now Sabo is surrounded by these black shadows, whatever they are. So I'm okay. So I think on that last panel, Sabo might have been trying to attack Eam in the last page, and these black shadows seem to have intercepted Sabo. Because now he's surrounded by them, and and then Sabo says, "I was hoping I'd be able to take you all out in one move." Unless these are like the Gorosei thing, like doing or whatever. I don't know. And then Sabo continues. After all, there was no way I could have known that hell was located here at the very top of the world. And then we see the picture of Sabo standing above Cobra's body. So this is the picture they must have took. This is the picture they took and put in the newspaper. And then we also see a Denden Mushi, like a monitoring Denden Mushi, and it's monitoring everything that happens. So that's what took the picture. That Denden Mushi is what took the picture that we seen in the newspaper, and this is how they pretty much frame Sabo. And it like we see it snap, and then Cobra says, "Cough, cough. You are Luffy Kun's brother, aren't you?" How would Cobra know that though? Unless Cobra think that's supposed to be Ace, because Ace was in Alabasta, but I don't think Cobra would know about Sabo. At least Sabo being Luffy's brother. It makes sense why he would mistake Sabo for Ace though, because Ace had the meta know me as well, right? Like, so maybe that's why he's connecting Sabo with being Luffy's brother. Even though he's not wrong, but I think it's because of the meta know me. But then Cobra says, "You're with the Revolutionary Army, and you still stepped in to save me." Cough. Our cause is more concerned with the monsters that sit above the kings and queens of the world. Do you know Luffy somehow? How do Cobra know about Sabo though? How do Cobra know about Sabo being Luffy's? Like, did Luffy tell him about Sabo in Alabasta? Is this something I'm forgetting or something I missed? Like I get if he thought that was Ace, cause Ace was in Alabasta, and at that point Luffy thought Sabo was dead, right? I don't know, man. And then Cobra says he once stepped in to save me too. And then Sabo says, haha, that sounds like him, all right. So hold on, maybe Cobra isn't dead though. Cause I know we seen his body in the newspaper and it took the picture saying like, yeah, assassination or whatever. But Cobra's not dead just yet, and we see Sabo pick up Cobra and he runs away with those shadow monsters behind him. Man, what are those shadow monsters though? Are those is it like Eam's ability? Maybe a devil fruit ability from Eam? Or maybe the Gorosei? Or unless they're just completely different entities, like they're there to protect Eam or something. God Knights? Like, is this one of their abilities? Like, what's going on? What is going on? Unless, what if the Gorosei were not really like humans? You know, like normal humans. What if the Gorosei were like extensions of Eam, and then they turn into these shadows? I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm just curious to know what these shadow things are. But yeah, we see Sabo with Cobra, and he's running away, and then Cobra says, "Leave me. I'm dead weight. You have a better chance of escaping on your own." And then Sabo says, "Not going to happen." And Cobra says, "There's something I've come to understand. And if you die here, we'll be in trouble." Okay, so Sabo's saying, "And if you die here, we'll be in trouble because I need you to deliver a message to Luffy Kun and Vivi." Oh, okay. So this is still Cobra talking. He's And then Sabo says, "You want me to tell them something?" Bro, I really want to know what these shadow creatures are, bro. Like, what are these shadow creatures? Is it like I feel as though they're like an ability. They're like an extension of a devil fruit ability. But are they like Eam's devil fruit abilities, or are they like the Gorosei? You know what I mean? Are and what happened? Like we seen Sabo attack the Gorosei, and we don't know what happened to him. I doubt they're dead, right? I doubt they're that weak. Which would be a feat right there if they them surviving that attack from Sabo, because we know. Okay, we're so I think we're all pretty sure that we're all pretty confident that the Gorosei isn't dead, right? Matter of fact, we seen Saint J. Garcia Saturn on his way to Egghead Island, and when Sabo was at Lelugia, I think we seen the Gorosei members there, or we seen a few of them. So yeah, they're not dead, of course, but that's a testament to that these guys must be strong if they was able to tank Sabo's uh, attack like that, right? Like they even if they took some damage, you know, they still survived it. So I'm definitely confident that the Gorosei members aren't some little weaklings. Cobra says, tell them we share the moniker D." The South says, "What?" And he says, "I finally know the path Alabasta must follow." And then we get like a flashback with Sabo, Ace, and Luffy. And Sabo says, "So you both have D in your name. Is that just a coincidence or something?" And I don't know if it's Luffy or Ace. They say, I guess. Who cares? A name's a name. what do you want a D in your, or it said, do you want a D in your name, Sabo? It says, what? Bruh, so I'm a little upset, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little upset. I was hoping before they tried to move on Cobra, we would get a little more about what the D initial means. That's what I was hoping. Because it sounded like Ian was about to start cooking. Sounded like Ian was about to like, hey, I'm going to tell you the origin of the D's before I kill you. But Ian didn't even, they didn't even give really a chance to Ian to go in any depth because they just start attacking Cobra. Man, bro, like, I was hoping we would get some more about that D. Maybe we will, though. Maybe we still will. They said you can be side D Bo. He said, why you put it there? He said, nah. Yo, bro, that sound like the One Piece community, bro. I swear Oda got this. Oda had to get that joke from the One Piece community when we do stuff like Buggy D Clown or Usopp D God or something. You know how we always making people D's, like we always making characters members of the D's and stuff. Oda gotta be paying attention to us with that whole side Debo joke. Okay, so we see that shadow tail looking thing, and it's going for somebody. So the shadow tail stabs Cobra. It like impels Cobra. I think it got Sabo as well. It might have grazed Sabo as well. And Sabo says, King Cobra. And we see the shadow looking thing. Bro, those shadow things look kind of like Big Mom's homies. Either Big Mom's homies or like Kazimbo from Wano, the thing that Conjuro conjured up. That's wild, Conjuro. When you think about the name, I know it's a little off topic. Conjuro conjures stuff. I don't know why that just came to mind. He conjures up things by drawing stuff. So Cobra is back on his feet and he's coughing. Ugh, the poneglyphs. What? So it's like Cobra was saying something, but the quote box is like being blocked off from. It's like being blocked off by a roar, like roar. So Cobra's trying to say something, but it's being blocked. Like the quotation bubble is being blocked by a roar, and he says, "Fly the flag that heralds the world's eventual dawn." Nefertari D. Lily. And then we see like Cobra says, "I'm counting on you, Sabo Kun." Bro, it is a lot going on in this chapter, bro. It is a lot going on with this chapter. This chapter kind of confusing me in some aspects. Like, I want to know what got blocked off because I can't. All I see is must be something maybe protected. I don't know, but it was blocked off. I want to know what was blocked off. I want to know what was blocked off. What was being said that got blocked off. So I'm thinking this is Sabo screaming. He says, "King Cobra." And then King Cobra said, "You must live on." And then one of the shadows say, "Who's there?" And we see like some like a dot bubble behind the wall. And we see like a little hole in the wall and someone peeking through it. Oh, that was Waffle. So Waffle witnessed all of this as well. Waffle has witnessed all of this as well. And Waffle said, he's dead. Pant, pant, Cobra. The senile has gone and got himself killed. I never liked him, but how can I celebrate after witnessing something so terrifying? He says, I've stumbled upon the biggest skeleton in the world or in the government's closet. I don't even want to know who that was. They will end me. Bruh. So Waffle witnessed all this happen. Waffle seen Eam. Oh boy, I see why Waffle left, man. But do the Gora say no about Waffle knowing all this? You know, I know the Shadow did say who's there or whatever, but are they aware that it was Waffle? That's the question. The Grand Round Table in the Council Chamber. Someone says it seems that King Cobra and King Waffle are not yet present. We just received word that the two of them will not be attending and that we are to proceed without them. Okay. That's interesting. They received word that Waffle and Cobra weren't attending. Who sent that word out? Right? Was it the Gorosei? Was it the Gorosei who sent that? Because it would make sense. It would make sense for them to send that about Cobra, right? Like if the Gorosei, look, y'all don't wait for Cobra. He's not gonna make it to the meeting today because they had something planned for him, right? But whoever sent that about Cobra sent or the same person that sent that about Waffle. So why was Waffle included in that? Is it because they know that Waffle was eavesdropping and now they gotta off him just like they did Cobra? It just seems a little iffy to me, man. Seems a little iffy with me. So Abraham Lincoln says perhaps King Cobra's impassioned speech drained him. And said, wahaha, maybe he considered his job done now that the dissolution of the warlords has been approved. Then we see King Riku. He said, let us move. Or he just like thinking like something must be going on. Someone said, let us move to the remaining matters. Let us move to the remaining matters on the agenda. Now then, concerning the coalition of the 4 northern nations calling for independence. So now I like this. We getting some reverie stuff. Like we get to see some diplomats talking about some political stuff, right? I keep Fukabushi or whatever. I think that's his name. The Shirahoshi's oldest brother. He says, Shirahoshi, the conference is almost over. Let's go wait at the red port. We don't have to deal with the celestial dunce there. And then one of them say, you okay? And then Shirahoshi says, I was hoping to say goodbye to Princess Vivi. I wonder where she is. Or I wonder where she went. Oh, you see Vivi tied up to a chair. She says, what's the big idea? You'd better untie me. Whose orders are you following? And it says a guest room in Pangea Castle. So that's where we're at. And then she said, I'll tell the whole world about this. All right, so we see Jabra and Khalifa. Cypher Pole 0. So, okay, so now we got a confirmation that the old CP9 agents, the ones like that were under like Rob or Spandam in CP9, they are indeed CP0 agents. Even though we kind of could tell the last time we seen them in like last chapter or 2 chapters ago, one or the other. They had on like the white suits that we see the CP0 agents wearing. Jabra says, hey, easy there. You're being too forward. Gotta play your cards closer to the vest. If you want a shot at being free, you're one feisty chick. And then Khalifa says, I'm afraid no one's going to help you, princess. Once your disappearance is made known, you'll probably live the rest of your life like a pet. We also see Bluno in the background, and I don't know who's in front of Bluno. Vivi asks, is Shirahoshi alright? And then I think the Jobber talking, he says, seriously, now's not the time to be worried about others, little Missy. We received word that more trouble broke out around her earlier, but she apparently came out of the ordeal unscathed. And then Vivi says, thank goodness. And Jabra continues, the punks who ended up assaulting the celestial dragon that was trying to kidnap the mermaid princess. And then we see Leo inside. They say, we're members of the Straw Hat Fleet. And then Jabra continues, boldly proclaimed their victory, given their names and everything. The guests in the courtyard were stunned. Meanwhile, at the home of the gods, Fujitara's actions helped the Revolutionary Army free the slaves. And that obviously pissed Ryo Kugyu off, so they went at it. So Green Bull and Fujitara started fighting because Fujitara, I guess accidentally helped the revolutionary free the slaves. What did he do? Is it when he was talking about bringing that meteor in? And did he actually go through with it? And they end up working against the admirals? Bro, this guy Fujitara, bro. This guy Fujitara. And the Jabra continued, what's the deal with this year's reverie? And then Vivi's thinking to herself, like a pet, give me a break. Looks like I'm going to have to do something about this. And then Vivi is looking at the wall, and they're screaming behind the wall. All right, so Wapple busts through the wall. I guess he's eating the wall and stuff. And he says, spare me. I didn't see a thing. And Vivi says, Wapple. And Wapple's chomping on the rocks through the wall. He went through a bunch of walls. And he says, out of the way. Move already. You'll never take me alive. Vivi said, this is my chance. And we see CP0. I guess somehow Vivi left with Wapple, but we see the CP0 agents looking through all the holes that Wapple created, and one said, I forgot the fat one's name that said Chapa Papa. I forget his name, but he's one of my favorite CP9 agents back in his lobby. He says Chopper, and he said, what was that? Jabra said, I think it was King Wapple. And then they said, hey, wait a sec. Vivi's gone. And said, huh? And then it looked like Sully or something. Is that Sully? Stully? They said, oh, darling. Or no. Oh, okay. So this is the Wapple's wife, or, the queen of Wapple's kingdom. She said, oh, darling, I've been looking for you. Where the devil have you been? And who is that young lady with you? So we see Vivi in Wapple's mouth, and Vivi said, hey, Wapple, how much further are you going to go? And Wapple said, as far as it takes, I'll run to the ends of the world if I have to. And then Vivi said, sounds good to me. Let's go. And then we see Wapple's wife. I think that's Wapple's wife. She says, don't tell me you're running don't tell me you're running away with a mistress, eloping to start a life on the run. One Piece, chapter 1085, end. Bro, the way that ended was funny. All right, so that that was a lot. That was a lot in this chapter, man. But we start off right where we left off at the end of last chapter, with Eam sitting on the empty throne right in front of King Cobra, as King Cobra witnessed the true king of, or queen of, the world. And Eam is like, you know what? Those two things those two topics you brought up, I got answers for you. I got answers for you. But, I also have a question in return, Cobra. You know? And then Cobra's like, hey, who are you? I never heard Eam before. I never heard the name Eam. Or no, he said he do recall. He say, I do recall hearing the name Eam from the original 20. So I'm assuming Cobra's implying that one of the original 20 kings or queens or rulers, let's say rulers, one of the original 20 rulers that rose to become uh, celestial dragons eventually, right? And their families become celestial dragons. One of the original rulers was named Emu. That's kind of what Cobra implied, right? This whole time I'm thinking Emu and Lily could be the same person, but Emu seems to have existed around the original 20 rulers at the same time as Lily. So this chapter I want to say dismiss my speculation about Emu being Lily. So I don't think that's the case anymore, right? I don't think that's the case. And Emu's like, it was Lily's fault that the poneglyphs were able to be spread about in the world. It was Lily's fault that the whole D initial never truly got buried. Now today we got a bunch of D's. I think Eam says something more like there's more D's than there was or have been in a while, at least. Maybe not during the Void Century, but there's a lot of D's around than there have been in a while, I guess. That's what Eam implies. And because he says in recent times it has cropped up more frequently. However, it is nothing but an echo. So it's still not in the prime. The D clan is still not in the prime of their days, but it around this time it's a lot more frequent than it has been in a while. Based on how Eam made it sound. And like I said, Eam talks about the blunder that Lily made about allowing the poneglyphs to get out and spread, which is probably the biggest blunder of the world government. And then Eam asked Cobra, like, hey, so what was the name on that letter that Lily left? And Cobra comes out and says, like, the truth is that Lily's name was Nefertari D. Lily. So now we learn that Lily is a D. Not only Lily, but the whole Nefertari line is our D's. And right before he says that, we see the Gorosei clutching their weapons, and Cobra's aware, like, yeah, I'm not coming out of this, right? I'm not coming out of this live. And they said, bro, your fate was sealed the moment the moment you laid eyes on Eam's existence. Your fate was pretty much sealed at that point. Even though I thought they was already planning on killing Cobra, but based on what the Gorosei said is, Cobra Cobra's life was pretty much ended when Cobra seen Eam. So, but they was about to pull their guns out, and or they pulled their guns out, but we see like a black shadowy demon tail looking thing come from nowhere and stab Cobra right in the chest, right? And at that same moment, Sabo comes, and he attacks the Gorosei. After that attack, we don't really see what happened with the Gorosei. Because a lot of stuff happened. I'm still a little confused. I still need to. A lot of this is just running wild in my head right now. I'm trying to piece things together. I think, I don't know for sure, but I think Sabo tried to attack Eam as well. He attacked Gorosei, but he also tried to attack Eam. But some shadowy figures intercept Eam. Y'all might have to correct me in the comments. Let me know how y'all interpreted what happened. But I think these shadows shows up, like these shadowy figures show up, kind of like Big Mom's homies. They show up. I want to say they intercepted Sabo, but I'm not too sure. But Sabo then, we see these shadowy figures behind Sabo, and we see Sabo over Cobra's body. He's not dead just yet, but we see Sabo over Cobra's body the same way we seen in the newspaper. And at that specific time, we see like one of those Denden Mushi surveillance cameras looking at this whole thing, and it snaps a picture of Sabo above Cobra's body. So now we see how we got that picture of Sabo over Cobra's body in the newspaper, the one that made Sabo look very guilty, right? But Cobra's not even dead yet at this point. Cobra's not dead yet because Sabo picks up Cobra's body and tries to escape with Cobra's body. And Cobra's pretty much like, hey, Sabo, you're going to have to let me go. I'm just dead weight. If you need to, you need to survive because I want you to tell Vivi and Luffy something, right? And he says, tell Luffy and Vivi that we're D's, right? Now, or we share the D name. That's what he said. We share the D name. So we already know that Luffy is a D, but we just discovered that the Nefertaris are D as well. So Vivi's a D, Nefertari, Cobra. I'm assuming Cobra is a D as well, unless the Nefertari bloodline is on Vivi's mom's side. But I'm assuming it's because the way he said it, it sounded like he was including himself in that situation as well. So, yeah, he tells Sabo to make sure you relay that message. And before Sabo could get very far, we see that little black tail thingy, the little shadow tail. It stabs Cobra, and it must have grazed Sabo as well, because Sabo did take some damage during that attack. And before we got that, because I did skip something, we get a little flashback of Sabo, Ace, and Luffy as kids, and Sabo's asking Luffy and Ace about their name, about them sharing the D initial, and he was like, "Is that coincidence or what?" They're just like, "I don't know. What's it matter? Are you trying to be a D as well, Sabo?" This moment was kind of funny because it just showed me that is Oda paying attention to the One Piece community, the fans and everything, and they say we could rename you Sa Debo. It just reminded me when people naming characters like giving them D initial, like Buggy D Clown, Usopp D God, situations like that. That's what that reminded me of. But yeah. Continuing with the what happened in the chapter, Sabo takes some damage, And Cobra is pretty much like, hey, he's standing in front of Sabo like, Sabo, you gotta survive, bro. You gotta get out of here. I'ma take this L. I'ma take this death. It is what it is, but you gotta survive. Let Vivi and Luffy know that we shared the D initial as well. One thing I'm a little upset about is we didn't really get much into the D, right? Like the only revelation we got was that the Nefertari, specifically Nefertari Lily, was a D as well. But we still don't know the meaning of the D, and I'm a little upset about that. I am a little upset about it that we didn't get much more further explanation from Eam explaining what, like, explaining the D's, like the origin of the D's. You know what I mean? So while Cobra lays dead on the floor, someone is behind the wall looking at this. Like, we see a crack in a wall, and we see somebody looking. We see an eye, and I don't know if if it was Eam, one of the shadow figures, or one of the Gorosei members, but they say, who's there, right? So they're aware that somebody's behind that wall. Do they know that it was Wapol behind the wall? I think there's something later in this chapter that kind of implies that they know that Wapol is aware of all this, you know. But we learn there's Wapol behind his wall, and he gets scared because he realized that he's seen some stuff that he shouldn't have seen, right? And he said, yeah, I don't personally like Cobra, but I don't think I was supposed to see this. So he pretty much takes off running, you know. He's trying to escape Mary Joa. And so yeah, after that whole situation, we cut to where the whole reverie is going on with all the kings of the kingdoms of the world government. They're talking. They're like, hey, where's Cobra and where's Wapol? Someone informs them like, yeah, Cobra and Wapol will not be attending this meeting, which leads me to question whoever notified the other kings and the other kingdoms that Cobra and Wapol, both of them, weren't making it. Were they? I can assume that they knew what was happening with Cobra to a degree, right? But did they know that Wapol was now pretty much an enemy because of what he's seen? You know what I mean? So I'm a little curious there, you know, why they knew that both Cobra and Wapol wasn't gonna make it. Like, I could understand why they knew Cobra wasn't, but Wapol, it just makes me think, right? It just makes me think. So we see Shirahoshi and her brothers. They're pretty much like, hey, let's go wait somewhere safe. So you're no longer in danger because the meeting is about to end, and we could pretty much be ready to leave, right? And then we cut the Vivi. We cut the Vivi who's strapped to a chair in a guest room in Pangea Castle, and CP0, formerly CP9, the formal CP9 agents, now CP0, they have Vivi tied to a chair. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess because she was arguing with Lucci. I don't know. She was causing too much of a scene. Maybe it also has something to do with Cobra. You know what I mean? Because now they're implying that she's going to be used as a toy or something. Something along that line. Like, she's pretty much going to be being used from here on out. You know? Like, this is what Jabra's saying. Like, I guess she's going to be made into a slave, especially since Cobra is an enemy. Maybe the whole Nefertari family is an enemy. I mean, hey, they just dropped that bomb that the Nefertari family are D's, so it makes sense that they would make Vivi a slave, or now that she's an enemy, it would make sense she's an enemy now. So there's that. And While she's strapped to the chair, we also learned that Fujitaro had a hand in helping some of the slaves escape. I don't think it was intentional, but we didn't really get much explanation other than the fact that Green Bull is now pissed at Fujitaro, and also that Sai and Leo also proclaimed that they were Straw Hats as well. So, and all this is being told to Vivi by Jabra, right? And while they're waiting, while they're just sitting there, having Vivi as prisoner, Wapple busts through the wall, chewing through the wall, trying to escape as far as he can. He manages to pick up Vivi somehow and, continues to bust through the wall. And he has Vivi. And it seems like Vivi and Wapple are both going to escape somehow. Maybe Big News Morgans is outside waiting. I don't know. I don't think Big News Morgans is waiting for them specifically, but he probably outside somewhere. I don't know how they end up meeting with Big News Morgans, but this is the beginning of Wapple and Vivi's escape from Mary Joa, and there's that. So that is pretty much the chapter, y'all. Great chapter. I think what would have really made this chapter like perfect, in my opinion, like I can't give it a 10 out of 10 or nothing too high. But what the one thing I think this chapter was missing was more explanation on the D's and maybe some Void Century stuff. Like, where did the D clan come from? Also, what did Lily like what did Lily do? We know it was some blunder, right? That ended up causing the poneglyphs to be spread around the world or whatever. But what was the blunder? Like, what did she actually do? Or at least what did Eam and the Gorosei believe that Lily done? Cause they might have believed what happened with Lily, it went down a certain way, but it could have really went down a whole different way. Like maybe Lily was conspiring against the world government, but what Eam believe is that Lily just messed up. You know what I mean? So I want to know, at least I want to know from Eam's perspective what Lily done. You know what I mean? And I also wanted to know more about the D clan as well. I think that would have really definitely boosted this chapter, in my opinion, because to me it was just a tease, man. I don't believe we really got anything new other than the fact that Nefertari Lily was a D, that she was really Nefertari D Lily. So that's the only new thing we got, but that's not really new as far as what the D is. Like something that the D clan, which we've been knowing about for this whole series, right? We didn't get any answers to that. That's what I wanted. I wanted those answers. But we didn't get it though. We didn't get it. So, I guess Oda's gonna wait and to give that to us, but I was hoping we'd get it this chapter. But it is what it is. We see how Cobra got killed. We see how Sabo got framed for it. We learned a little bit about what could potentially be Imu's ability. Even though I think that whole situation with those shadow things, that raised more questions than answers, because we don't know if that is Eam's ability or if those are like different forms of the Gorosei members. We don't know. We just know that there's some shadowy figures that's associated with Eam, and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the chapter, y'all. Great chapter. Really enjoyed the chapter. We got some more bombs. We just didn't get the bombs that I wanted this chapter, but all in due time. All in due time. Anyway, y'all, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the chapter. Your thoughts on my reactions. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and join the Discord. All of these will be in the link or in the description box down below. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.